good afternoon, and good evening to you, the good people of Tube. Hope you're well today. Hope you're feeling grand and all's well in your world. This entire video is dedicated to this fantastic machine, everybody. I know a lot of people have been asking me to demo it for a while, so here we are. It's going to be a long one, and I'm going to talk about a few things I'm going to do in the video that are a little bit different to how I normally would demo a pedal. But the reason for that will come clear in a sec. So yes, the Zoom G2.1u, everybody. This is my desert island pedal. This is, if somebody said you can only have one pedal for the rest of your life, it'd be this one, bar none. Literally bar none. I'd be very happy with just this. So, what I've done today is I've set up two different banks. I've set up bank C and D with all sorts of different effects. So we've got like cleans, kind of John Frusciante-esque kind of cleans, got distortions, fuzzes, overdrives, choruses, harmony effects, octave effects, phasers, all sorts. If I was to literally show you everything this pedal can do, we'd be here for many hours, and I'd be here all day explaining everything this thing can do, because it can do so much, and there's so many sounds in it. So what I thought I'd do is basically just show you around some of my favourite sounds inside the G2.1u. The G2, the difference between the G2 and the G2.1u is the expression pedal. They sound exactly the same. The only difference is you don't have an expression pedal on the G2. And I should have got the G2 out just to show. But anyway, just imagine that without that side. Anyway, moving along. So yeah, I'm going to show you some kind of cleans, super cleans, distortions, stuff like that. But what I want to do, what I really, really want to do is not have the room mics on. I just want to have the close mic. It just seems to sound... The sounds come across clearer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little introduction to each kind of sound I do. And then I'm going to turn off the room mics and just like have the close mic and play. And let you hear it that way. Because it really gets the character of the sound. And that's what I want you to hear. I as much as I love hearing the room and everything like that, like, you know, a lot of you do, I really want you to hear the characters of the sounds in this thing. Because they're really awesome. And there's like, I've already done like a little sound check where I sound check with just the cab mic and the room mics, and it just wasn't. There was a lot of low end resonance coming off the B cab, for in this video for some reason. I don't know. It's just maybe the air in the room today, but it wasn't sounding particularly clear. And when I just tried the room mic, I was like, well, that sounds more like, you know, so. The close mic, sorry. It sounded better and clearer with just the close mic. So I'm just going to do that. But like I said, I will do like an introduction to each one and then I'll play. I've got 3 different guitars today. I'm going to play my white Strat mainly. I've got my Jaguar, which you saw at the beginning in the Dust Jam. And I've got my Les Paul as well. And I've got different settings set up for each thing. So I've got like a Les Paul kind of setting, a Jaguar setting, and you know, Strat settings, basically stuff like that. So yeah, without further ado, enough rambling. By the way, if I can pick it up, there are all the sounds we've got to get through today. So we've got a lot to do. So, and I will go through the EQ that I've got. Oh, and also, we are running through my #1 amp, my Marshall MG 100 today, because this amp and this pedal and the white Strat are basically what helped me kind of get what I hear out, so to say. If that makes sense. I was like, this is the amp where I found that sound, and this is the pedal where I found that sound, and that white Strat is where I found that sound. That probably sounds really stupid, but hopefully you understand what I mean. So that's what I'm running it through today. I'm running it through the OD channel, OD1 channel. I've got gain at 2. I've got bass all the way up. I've got middle at 7. I've got treble all the way off, contour all the way off, and volume all the way up. Master volume is at 2. Oh yeah, and I've got the ditto looper going through the effects loop, but I probably won't be using that a great deal. But yeah, so mostly close mic. I've rambled on long enough about this. This is my desert island pedal, and I love it to bits. So let's get into making some noise. Okay, so let's do that. So first sounds you're gonna hear are kind of like first sound you're gonna hear is like a really super clean funk style sound. So let me show you that. Oh, with reverb. Okay, so that's just like a super duper super clean sound. By the way, just so you know, quick, this is what the MG sounds like with the zoom pedal bypass. So this is just. But adding the zoom in just to add a little bit of EQ and a little bit of reverb and whatnot. Yeah. That's it. It's kind of Nile Rodgers kind of click. It's that really lovely kind of clean sound. And what I've got done, brilliant English. What I've done on the expression pedal, unfortunately it has to be on the floor so you can't see it for me to show you. What I've got on the expression pedal is the reverb, so I can have no reverb. I can roll it in, so I can have tons. The Les Dawson note, everybody. Or you can have like a subtle. So it's really cool having it on the expression pedal because it gives you the ability to have different kind of varying degrees of reverb, so to say. So I really love that. So what I'm going to move on to now, so that's like super cleanish, and that's the sound that kind of is dialed in 90% of the time if I'm using the Zoom G2. Excuse me. And then I'll put pedals over the top of that, and that's that kind of thing. So what I'm going to go to now is, a lot of people have been asking me about John Frusciante's setting through the Zoom. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go to the next C1, and this is kind of what I've dialed in. I haven't fine-tuned it. It's kind of close-ish, but it needs fine-tuning, and I haven't quite got there yet with it. But it's a pretty close approximation of John's kind of sounding. It sounds like his early Californication tone when it was a lot kind of darker, a bit more distorted kind of sound, which I like very much. And I really love this sound. So I'm going to turn the room mics off now, and I'm going to go to this John Frusciante-esque kind of cleanish tone. And what I've got set up on that, and I'll tell you I'll tell you what I'll do actually. At the end of a video, what I'll do is I'll write down all the effects of what they are. So there'll be like in a grid. So I'll write down all the effects, and I'll just let the camera pause on it for a couple of seconds. And you can pause the video and you can see what everything was set to. I think that'd be easier than me kind of going through explaining it. I think if I could do it all at once in a grid, I think you'll be able to see it better, and we'll go that way. And then I won't get kind of like boring by doing that. So I'll leave that to right at the end of the video. Just put a little grid up right at the end of the video after the outro jam. So you can pause the video and see what everything was set to, parameter-wise and whatnot. So the John Frusciante sound has got reverb on it, very mild reverb. It's not a great deal. It's just like a little bit, just to give it a bit of kind of a little bit of ambience, so to say. It's set up on a. Oddly enough, it's set up on like on a distortion patch. I forget exactly what it is. I think it's the BG patch. I don't know what that is. I don't know what it is, but it's mainly kind of like my favorite kind of patch for clean and distortion-esque kind of things. So it's kind of like a distortion patch with a gain turned all the way down and like compressor off and stuff like that. But it's got that on it. And also on the expression pedal, I've got a wah-wah. And the wah-wah doesn't do the WH10 thing, which is fair enough. But it does do a really cool wah, and I'll show you that as well. So let's go for this kind of John Frusciante-esque kind of clean tone. And yeah, and then we'll move on to some more fun stuff. Well, this is fun. What am I on about? I couldn't resist going into the distortion patch there, and that distortion patch I've had like since day dot. The first super clean sound you've heard, I've had that sound since day dot, and that distortion sound I had for the guitar solos was my main distortion till I found the Marshall Governor in about 2006. So I got this pedal in 2005, and I basically used its kind of like main distortions all like through my time in a band I was in called Gimbal, and that was that sound. So that's my kind of John Frusciante-esque kind of clean tone. It's not 100%. It still needs a lot of tweaking. I've just been able to kind of like go, oh, okay, that's kind of close this morning, just kind of like messing around with it. But my ears are shut now, so I can't do any more editing. So that's as close as I've got at this point in time. Like I say, at the end of the video, there will be just a picture of all the stuff that I've got dialed in and how I've got it dialed in. So I'm not going to hide anything from you. So, which isn't fair. Actually, I tell a lie. My super, super clean tone is my little secret. I'm sorry. I can't divulge that information. The gods of Zoom will come and kill me. So, but I will divulge every other sound I've got. So, let's move on now. We're going to move on to a distortion sound now. So, big, fat distortion sound. It's the same drive module, if you will, as the John Frusciante clean tone, but it's just got full gain now. And I just love it. It's just big, fat, warm, and there's this grind to it that I really love. There's this real kind of sound. It's really, really cool. I love it to bits. So let's go to distortion, and I've got a wah-wah pedal set up on that as well, and a little bit of reverb. But not all EQs are at noon, so just so you know. So yeah, let's go to Distortion Town. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to move on to like a more of a Jimi Hendrix kind of sound. So a bit more distorted, kind of clean, but and then I'm also going to put a fuzz pedal on the top of that, which is it's so exciting. Okay, so let's do Voodoo Child. Yeah, Sight Return, not the blues one. We'll do Sight Return today. So let's do that, and also it's got a little bit of reverb. And also I'm going to use the wah-wah. So, let's do Voodoo Child. Let's do some Jimmy. Okie dokie, so I'm starting to sweat, which is definitely a good thing. Means I'm enjoying myself, which I certainly am, and I hope you are too, people of the tube. I hope I'm not boring you all to tears. So, switch over to Lemon Drop now. I've got 2 patches set up for the for Les Paul, and also want to show. I've got a few patches actually. I've got like a Thin Lizzy kind of harmony kind of patch set up as well, and I'm going to play a Thin Lizzy song in a bit, but I'll get to that in after I've done this. So what I've got here is kind of like a bluesy kind of sound. I've got a spring reverb on it. It's got this kind of like almost, it's got a different kind of sound reverb. It's got a bit more of a ring to it, so to say. And I've got it on that BG patch module. So it's the same drive patch that I use for all the distortions, apart from the fuzz. I just find it's the best one. There's a million in there, but for me, that BG one, I never feel the need to stray from it. It does everything I kind of want it to, so to say. So, I'm going to start with just like a Peter Greeny-esque kind of sound. I've got the reverb set up on the expression pedal, so I can go from nothing to loads. And because it's spring reverb, it absolutely gets washed out. And then I'm going to cut it off. It's really weird. You can do like really weird things with the expression pedal reverb. It's almost like a gated reverb. So you can bend, as you bend up a note, you can like increase the reverb. And then cut it off. And you do really strange things. It's super cool. Okay, so yeah, let's do some Peter Greeny bluesy stuff, and yeah, and then we'll go on to more of a kind of a Gary Moore big distortion sound. Sorry about that. I totally got lost in that Peter Green-esque kind of thing and just totally lost my way. And then triggered my looper, which was still on the intro jam loop of Dust. Oh, what's that? Came out of nowhere. Anyway, back to the blues. Let's change key. Let's go to D minor. Okie dokie, so that's kind of like a bluesy kind of sound that I've got set up with Les Paul. It's got a real nasally real nasally mid-range. I really like it. It's something very appealing about it, especially on the net pickup. I accidentally clicked onto the fuzz patch as well when I was messing around, and this came out. Evil! Absolutely evil. Okay, so I'm going to be able to wear over kind of like a full-out Les Paul tone now. Big kind of gnarly kind of sound. Has this got delay on it? No, it's just the spring reverb. It sounds like it. But anyway, so bigger sound. Okie dokie doo-dah. That's kind of a bit more of a humbuckery kind of sound. Makes me very, very happy. I've got to stop myself though, because I will just keep playing and the video will be like 10 years long, and that's not good enough. You're all busy people, you have things to do. So, yeah, I'm trying to restrain, but it ain't really working that well. Okay, so, that's for two, well, that's not for two, that's kind of like two main kind of Les Paul tones that I would have if I was using my Les Paul, like that kind of pseudo blues clean. And then full out gain, full out drive. So, I'm going to go now to, more of a, well, I'm going to do a Thin Lizzy song, because what I love about this pedal, where are we? D6, is it's got a harmonizer built in, and you can pick the key, pick the interval from, you can have a major third, minor third, fourth, fifth, sixth, up to a high octave or a low octave. It's really, really cool. And it sounds really good. One thing I will say is the harmonizer sounds better for a super clean amp. It doesn't sound... It sounds great for an overdrive channel like this. It sounds good. But it's a lot cleaner if you've got a cleaner amp, like the octave thing. You know, it sounds really cool, but it's kind of cleaner. So I'm going to do a Wild One by Thin Lizzy. I'm going to show you that, because it's one of the most awesome harmonised guitar riffs of all time. And I'm going to attempt to do the solo if I can remember it. I'll probably mess it up. And also, I'm going to go for like a more clean Les Paul tone with a phaser on it. So like kind of Scott Gorham-y, you know, Thin Lizzy kind of era kind of tone. So I'm going to go for that. So let's go for Thin Lizzy. Well, I royally messed that one up. Sorry, Phil. Sorry, Scott. Sorry, the two Brians. Sorry, that was terrible. That was absolutely terrible. So I do apologise. But hopefully you get the idea. The harmony effect is really, really cool. And I like the fade. It's kind of like that Still in Love with You. You know, real phasery Thin Lizzy kind of sound. Really, really cool. So, what have I got now? Oh yeah, I'll show you the octaves as well quickly. So, I'm going to do some low octave stuff, so you get it kind of like, at the beginning, in the Dust Jam, you heard the Jaguar on the rhythm circuit, the jazz circuit, if you will, the really dark circuit, with the really low octave, which is that. So it's got a little bit of the original signal, but it's got like a real kind of low end on it. So I'm going to play some, I don't know, let's play something really heavy. I'm going to play something with the octave divider. Okay, so that's fun with octave dividers. You don't need a bass player. No, I'm joking. We all love bass players. We all need them. But if you don't have one, that will suffice. It's just a really cool thing. I love that octave divider sound. It's a beast. What's oh yeah, it's Distortion. Okay, so I've got 2 more things to do. I'm gonna play an outro. I'm gonna do like a little soundscapey outro on my Jaguar. And I also want to show that dust sound again, just on its own. Yeah, I will. I'll show it one more time on its own, just really, really quick. But what I'm going to show you next is a lot of people have been asking about how to set up, the throw away your television sound. And I say the whole thing of that will be at the end of the video written down in gridded. It'll be all gridded, so that'll be that. But what I've done is I've set up the Zoom G2. So, excuse me. So basically D1 to D5 I've set up for kind of throwaway television, and it's in order. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch back to the Strat. I'm going to play throwaway your television just quickly, just like the verse riff, chorus, second verse riff, step filter, outro, and that's that. So and it's all set up in line. So D1 is the main kind of delay, that. D2 is the chorus sound, which is like a phase shifter. D3 is the step filter, that kind of sound. And then we'll see where we go from there. So that's the kind of 3 sounds. So D1, D2, and D3. And if I feel like it, D4 and D5. But you'll see what that is when we get there. So let's change back to the Strat and do that kind of thing. And I'll show you those kind of sounds. It's really, really cool. Okay, so that sounds horrifically empty without the bass and the drums and obviously the vocals, but hopefully that gives you an idea, like the sound you kind of get out of this thing. The fact it's got an inbuilt tuner as well, it's got more effects than I could ever show in this video. It really does have that more effects than I could ever show in a video. It's just awesome. It's just, I just love it to bits. Zoom, why did you stop making it the way it was? It was amazing. All you need to do was improve it. Actually, saying that, I tell a lie. I'm kind of being stupid there because I haven't tried any new Zoom pedals recently, so they're probably better. Or they might not be. I don't know. All I know is I love the G2s, and I would hoard them so no one else could have them. I forgot. I'd have them in my little cave somewhere. Gear cave. Dave's gear cave. Anyway, Where are we now? So yeah, that's kind of like the throwaway divisions kind of sounds and the phase shifters and the slapback kind of delay, which is... I didn't quite have it right at the beginning there. I had to kind of like quickly tweak it, but it's dead easy, quick and easy to tweak it. So, and it's still not 100%, but it's close enough for kind of what it is today. I'm still not 100% happy with the John Frusciante sound. It's close, but it's just it needs a little bit more tweaking. It's not quite there. So if you're after a John Frusciante sound with your Zoom G2.1u or Zoom G2, you can use these kind of like EQ settings that you'll see at the end as a kind of jumping off point, so to say, just to kind of like help you dial it into your amp, because you know my settings won't necessarily work 100% for you. They might get you close, but you'll have to kind of go the rest of the way on your own kind of thing, so to say. I can only kind of like go a certain distance with you. And I say the John Frusciante one, it needs tweaking. It's not 100%. It's close, but it's still lacking something that I haven't quite got dialed in yet. So yeah, I mean it's okay. It's good, and I like it. I love the sound. It sounds really cool. But I say it's not 100% there. So yeah, that's it, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this demo on the Zoom G2.1u. It really is my desert island pedal. I love it to bits. It's just... Like I say, if somebody said you can only have one pedal for the rest of your life, give me that. I'll be happy. I would not kick up a stink. I wouldn't cry. I'd be a very happy bunny. Very, very, very happy bunny. So yeah, there you go, everybody. Zoom G2.1u. Super, super, super cool sound. I'm going to do a little soundscapey thing now to play out with. I've got tons of reverb, tons of delay, chorus on there. I'm just going to mess around net pickup on the Strat, actually. I was going to show you the dust sound again, but you've heard it at the beginning, and that dust sound is just my distortion sound with vibrato mode that you've got in the pedal on there as well. So, thank you so much for watching. I know it's been a long one. I hope the window glaringness, I've got no hand, hasn't bothered you too much. I hope it's been okay. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you again on Wednesday. Have a great one. Goodbye now. Have a great one. Have a great morning, afternoon, and good evening. Okay, I thought before the sound check, actually, I better explain my scribblings here so you understand it. So, basically they kind of change, but they're kind of the same. So, each one of these on the side is a different part of the pedal. Let me get the pedal quick. One second. Talk among yourselves. Okay, so, each one of these things down the side is kind of like a turn on this dial. So all the things around this side of the dial, that's what these equate to, and then these are all the parameters basically. So let me just explain it. So for instance, like for the John Frusciante clean, the compression side of it is turned off. The wah/EFX is off. The ZNR, the Zoom noise reduction, is off. The drive setting is BC, and then the next one along is 0. So kind of left to right. So this one here is set to BC, which is kind of like the main distortion. The next dial along, the gain dial, is set to 0. The tone dial is set to 8, and the level dial is set to 80. And that's the same with all these. So the kind of the module, if you will, is BC, and then its gain is 40, tone is 6, and thingy is 80. So hopefully you can kind of see that. I hope that makes sense. I thought I'd have to explain it. The control setting stays the same. It's these weird symbols at the bottom, and then you've got your gain on the outside. So when you come off that, you've got these settings as well. So as you're spinning the left dial on the pedal, you get all these, and these are the parameters. These are the settings and the parameters you want to have. And then once you turn it all the way back round to play, which is fully left, you'll want to change your gain, volume, and tone there as well, and then store it. I really, really hope that makes sense. It's kind of like, it's quite complex, and I totally forgot to speak about it in the video, because I'm a clever person. So these are the settings for the John Frusciante clean, my distortion, the Jimi Hendrix kind of clean, the fuzz sound, and the chorus sound. So that's the settings there. So I'll just leave that for a second. Just like that kind of you can kind of pause it on this bit, and you can kind of see what I've got, hopefully. And then if I turn the page, we've got the Les Paul blues sound, the Les Paul distortion sound, the dust sound, which is basically just a distortion setting. So it's just that setting with the vibrato mode, the throwaway television step filter sound, the outro kind of solo sound. That's just the distortion setting with that, the step filter. And then you've got the distortion, the phase shifter for the chorus of throwaway television, which is just the phaser on the WAR-FX module PHAF04. So hopefully you can kind of see that. Hopefully you can kind of like rewrite extremely bad scribblings. If there's any other settings you want to know, just let me know. Put a comment in the section below and I will write in a comment for you. So on to the soundscape now. Thank you very, very much for watching. Hope you can see these. Hope it makes sense. It's a bit of a complex kind of thing, really. And I didn't really kind of like... I don't want to go too heavy into that kind of thing. It's a very kind of simple pedal to understand. You know what I mean? You just turn the left dial, alter the parameters left to right, and away you go. So hopefully that makes sense. Thank you very much, everybody. I will see you again. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening. See you again. Goodbye now.